Homo Politicus, the strange and scary tribes that run our government. By Dana Milbank, narrated by Johnny Heller. Copyright 2008 by Dana Milbank. This unabridged audiobook is published by arrangement with Doubleday Books and was produced in the year 2008 by Tantor Media Incorporated, which holds the copyright thereto. Introduction. I should have known something was amiss when Jack Abramoff told me about the kosher pigs. The Republican super lobbyist and I were dining a few years ago at the high-end restaurant he owned, Signatures, across the street from the National Archives. Abramoff was a well-connected source who gave me newsy tips about presidential advisor Karl Rove and House Majority Leader Tom DeLay. On this day, however, we were talking about a second restaurant he planned to open, a kosher Jewish deli called Stacks. He said he had just located a species of swine in Asia that chews its cud, as required by the Jewish dietary laws. Thus, Abramoff said, would he operate the first kosher restaurant to serve bacon and pork sausage. Alas, the kosher pigs turned out too good to be true, as did just about everything else about Abramoff. To date, Abramoff and 11 of his friends and associates have pleaded guilty in a sprawling corruption scandal in which Indian tribes were bilked for tens of millions of dollars and federal officials were bribed with golf trips and skyboxes. Signatures and Stacks are gone, and kosher pork continues to elude us. As I thought about the crimes that sent Abramoff to jail, it occurred to me that they had much in common with his cud-chewing pig scheme. Abramoff believed that if you were powerful enough, the rules, federal statutes, or Jewish dietary laws didn't apply to you. In this view, Abramoff was typical of the peculiar species that inhabits the capital, Homo Politicus, or, in the native tongue, Potomac Man. Homo Politicus is unlike other members of his genus because he strives for power for its own sake. For him, fame and fortune are only vehicles to obtain power or are byproducts of power. It matters little how or to what end the power is exercised, only that it is possessed. I came to live in political Washington, Potomac land, if you will, 12 years ago. For most of that time, I've lived among the natives as if I were one of them, working, eating, dressing, and socializing as they do, and wearing the same government-issued ID cards and BlackBerry devices. As I gained their trust over time, they allowed me to join them in their homes, war rooms, and tribal councils. Seeing them that way, I felt like a Spanish explorer, witnessing an Aztec human sacrifice for the first time. In his natural state, Homo Politicus was so defined by tribalism that he placed tribe or party above even family and nation-state. Though he was equipped with the tools of modern civilization, his work proved to be less efficient and his rituals more bizarre than those of even the most primitive cultures. As I write this, the events of recent weeks in Potomac land must confound those who have not lived among Homo Politicus. Senator Larry Craig of Idaho was arrested for lewd conduct in an airport men's room after touching an undercover policeman in a neighboring stall. The officer was not impressed when Craig handed him his Senate business card and said, "What do you think about that?" The Deputy Secretary of State, Randall Tobias, has resigned, and Senator David Vitter of Louisiana has issued a public apology because they used an escort service alleged to be a prostitution ring run by the D.C. Madam. Meanwhile, Paul Wolfowitz, who, after championing the disastrous Iraq War, was rewarded with the presidency of the World Bank, lost that job for getting his girlfriend a raise. The former No. 2 official at the Interior Department was sentenced for lying to Congress about one of several girlfriends he used his office to assist. The FBI raided the home of Senator Ted Stevens of Alaska and businesses associated with 2 congressmen, John Doolittle of California and Rick Renzi of Arizona. Congressman William Jefferson was indicted for taking bribes. The president commuted a 30-month perjury sentence given to the vice president's former chief of staff, and the attorney general resigned after being accused of perjury and witness tampering. None of these tales, however, causes much surprise in Potomac land. While the names of the offenders change and the plot details vary slightly, the theme is universal. Potomac Man will do almost anything to amass and to flaunt his power and that of his tribe. The same character trait can be found in many